So I'm live, and the video this week is just what I've been brewing over the week. Um, I've been having a lot of fun just brewing with the new AFR deck release, and it's really, I mean, I've got mixed feelings about the set. I've got mixed feelings. I believe they've increased the obnoxiousness ratio by about 10, by a factor of 10. There are a number of different things in the set which are just obnoxious. I think already we've got a banning of a card, which is an obnoxious sort of gameplay mechanic, and there are other really obnoxious gameplay mechanics out there. But that said, um, there are some really good opportunities to brew. There are some good new mechanics to play around with, and I've been having a lot of fun with them. I'm not gonna lie, I've been having a lot of fun just brewing, losing a lot of games, but winning some games with some new stuff that people haven't seen before. So this is a really exciting time for the game, just to be able to do some really different stuff. And I'm just gonna show some of the things in the kitchen that I've been working on. And the first one I want to show is this one. And this is a weird deck. This is because I've been trying and trying. So obviously, in Theros we had a block of cards, which were these legendary artifacts. And to remind you, let me take that off and take that off and get Theros. Theros or is it Throne? It's Throne of Eldraine. Sorry, not Theros, Throne of Eldraine. We had these legendary artifacts. We had a block of them. And everybody lost their mind and only played with Embercleave and the Great Henge. And all of the other ones were forgotten. All were written off as being rubbish. And the funny thing is that sort of a Throne is about to go. And people are actually quite tired of Embercleave and Henge being in the meta and sort of shaping the meta. You know, in any green stompy deck, you know, you find Henge. In any aggressive red deck, you find Embercleave. In any Gruul deck, you find them both. So people are really sort of tired of that playstyle. But nobody went back to look at Cauldron, Magic Mirror, Circle Loyalty. Circle Loyalty has been a thing that I've been experimenting with since Throne. I've just been trying to make it work because it sounds good. This idea of basically in the body of an artifact, and an artifact is actually quite difficult to remove from the board. So, you know, even on the cards that remove artifacts and enchantments, unless it's in green, usually they make you choose. Do you want to remove enchantments or do you want to remove artifacts? So getting this onto the board is good. For the late game, for 4 mana, and to tap it, you could create a 2/2 knight, which gets buffed with the 1/1 that all creatures get. So you get a 3/3 for 4 mana. Not sort of game breaking, but really good. And I always sort of looked at it in my head as being a bit like Field of the Dead in the late game. Only it's not as easy as just playing a land to get your bodies in the late game. And it costs 1 less for each night you played. So originally in Eldraine, you know, you found yourself circling around every reset release looking at knights to see if there was a way in which you can reduce its cost by 3 or 4. So you know, if you could play 3 knights, can you play this? You know, can it be reduced in cost? Because all of these have a cost reduction. So you're just thinking to yourself, can I get the benefit of the cost reduction? But latterly, I've been thinking about this card in a different way, and it's the other bit of writing on the card. Whenever you cast a legendary spell, create a 2/2 white knight, and for the last few sets, I've been thinking, well, are there legendary cards I really, really, really want to cast that can help me generate this value from the 2/2 white knights in the late game, a bit like Field of the Dead, so that every sort of play in the late game, I'm generating that value and overwhelming people. And when Strixhaven came out, there was a mono white deck that was really quite good, but it used spells. It didn't use legendary spells, so this didn't really quite fit in it. However, sort of over all of the sets, we now have a body of legendary things, which now, at least in my mind, make this a possible deck, a viable deck. And I'm going to just go over this deck over here, and I've been doing quite well with it. So basically, we have the Circle of Loyalty in here. We have the Forsaken Monument, which makes colorless creatures get 2/2. What colorless creatures might we want to have in a deck like this? Well, of course, there is Simulacrum, which helps you get the land out or ramp into what you need. You've got the Spark Hunter Mastercore, and that's there to deal with any planeswalkers that might be lurking out there. But that's about it, because ultimately, because I'm looking to go long into the game, I'm looking to just press the button and get my 3/3s. So I don't need that many creatures or creatures to get the Forsaken Monument value. But what this does enable me to do is it enables me to speed up my ramp, because I can include all of these colorless lands, which get an extra additional colorless land every time I tap a permanent. So that's really cool. So then I could think to myself, well, what else could I use all of this ramp I have in this deck for? And that is where I have all of these legendary artifacts. So I've got the Deck of Many Things, which is an awesome 5-cost legendary artifact, and it's a 1/of in the deck, and you tap it, you try and get, and it helps you draw some cards. You've got the Chromatic Ori. Again, that gives me lots and lots of mana. Obviously, when I play it, it generates a 3/3 if I've got this on the board. It also now enables me to draw cards for 5. We've got Vecna, which is a new one from the D&D deck. There to trigger, it helps me draw cards during the game, and it synergizes nicely with the Forsaken Monument. So basically, I can take 2 every life, knowing that every time I play one of my colorless things, I get 2 back. I've got Lithothorm Engine in here, which enables me to copy my Simulacrums if I need to when I'm playing them. It enables me to copy my Mastercore if I need to when I'm playing them. But most important for the Lithothorm Engine, it enables me to double up on abilities. So it enables me to double up on drawing a card, it enables me to double up on my Deck of Many Things, it enables me to double up, really importantly, on my Dungeon Map, which is the MVP here. Because Dungeon Map enables me to do a number of different things. So in Tomb of Annihilation, it gives me an opportunity to put some pressure on my opponent's hand and their life total. In the Dungeon of the Mad Mage, it enables me to and the ones which I found really, really useful here is Twisting Caverns, because it stops a creature from attacking, and Runestone Caverns, because obviously all my ramp means I've got lots of extra mana lying around, so I can exile 2 cards and usually play them. And I've got the Lost Mine of Fandelver, and this one is in here, and I've actually started to realise what I'm using this for. I am using this because very easily I get a scry, a token, and a card. That 3rd level, not so important. But the ideal in 4 turns, or if I've got my Lithoform engine out, 2 turns, I could get to an additional card. I could get to a scry and a token and a turn. That's really cool. And in terms of for those aggressive decks that are out there, there's lots of them, especially little weenies. I've got Valk Mirror just to slow them down. And Valk Mirror's second thing, which is quite helpful, is if somebody tries to target me with something, it costs them an extra mana. So it's awesome. So that is that's the deck. That's how it works. I've also got some interesting things working on the removal side and in the land side. So on the removal side, I have a card which was much laughed about in the Mystical Archive, but I think is actually quite useful, which is Divine Gambit. Now, Divine Gambit is absolutely useless against the green decks that are out there, because usually if you ask them to pull something out, you've got to pull something horrible out. But in red decks and the white weenie decks and the life gain decks, you're usually pulling out a 1/1. And what I like to do actually with this card, and this is my favourite thing to do, and you'll see it in the gameplay you're going to see in a minute, is for the aggressive decks when they're running low on cards and they're struggling to put pressure on me, or they might want to put pressure on me but they don't want to play that last card because they're scared of some removal I might have, I usually use this card to force them to play it. So and then I follow it up with a board wipe. So for those that don't know what I'm up to, they will think, oh, this is my turn to play my big card, and now this person's going to get beat up, and then I follow it up with a Doomscar. Or if they do know what I'm doing, they let me get the value from exiling their stuff for 2 and not putting a card out, which is even better. So this card has actually turned out to be useful in the end. I've got Shatter in here as opposed to our newest removal card from Strixhaven. The reason for that is I don't want to wipe all my artifacts off the board, so this can only be about creatures. I've got Spark Hunter Masticore in there for Planeswalker to deal with the Planeswalkers. In terms of my specific removal, I've got You Hear Something on the Watch, which is a deal 5 for 2. And there is another such card which I can foretell and then play for 1, but it costs 3. And I'm more likely to definitely have 2 mana open to remove a thing than the 3 mana, especially in an early game if I'm really under some pressure. So in terms of the board wipes, Doomscar I've already trailed, Shatter the Sky I've already trailed, and then in the interesting things in the land. So we've got the Radiance to give us life, to keep us alive. I've got Field of Ruin to stop the land shenanigans that are out there, because there's lots of them. I've got Dungeons Descent. That's to help me dive into the dungeons earlier than if I get the dungeon map. But of course, this is less efficient. So I hope I don't have to do it that way, but I do. But there's good synergy because that taps for 2 once I've got my Forsaken Monument on the board. Labyrinth of Scophos. We're going to lose it soon. MVP. So what I've been finding in some games is I have a board state where they've got 1 threat on the board that they're dying to swing with, and this is what usually stops it from swinging. I was running it for a 2 at some stage, but actually I've started just running it for a 1 because I think that the Radiant Fountain giving me 2 life is more important. Got Biblioplex in here, and the Biblioplex is their designs to help me find removal. So when I pop it with an empty hand, I'm either looking for Doomscar, Shatter the Sky, or Divine Gambit, basically. Treasure Vault, I'm testing this to see whether in the late game popping it for some mana is useful. I don't think it is so far, so this may come out in the final build. We've got Crawling Barrens, which is an MVP. We've got Bonded Enclave. As I said, I'll have tons of mana, so being able to draw some cards is always good. We've got 9 snow-covered plains, and the snow-covered plains are in there because we've got Faceless Haven hiding in here. And then we've got the new white creature land, which is Cave of the Frost Dragon. So this is the deck. I've spoken for about 15 minutes. It's something I'm really having a lot of fun with. Is it competitive? Could potentially be. I think this is something that you'll have to sideboard out a lot with. But, we're going to give it a spin and see how it goes. I call it Tron, but it's not Tron. Tron is a ramp deck because of the Tron lands. But I've got this sort of I've got this struggle with myself. Whenever I make a colourless deck, I'm calling it Tron when it's not Tron. So I don't have the removal in hand here. But I've got 3 lands in a dungeon map, which is really good for getting into that Forsaken Monument. I've got 8 removal in the deck, so I can just trust my deck. That will chart. We've got 8 removal, we've got 4 Divine Gambits, we've got 4 specific removal cards, so I could trust with this deck that we're going to find what we need. So as you can see already, we're seeing Izzet colors. Izzet colors means mainly some spells, hopefully, which is awesome. So that means this has increased in value exponentially already, because I will now know that if I play this, good chance I don't see a creature. There are still some dragons you might see. Some people are running a dragon deck, but there's a good chance there's a spell deck, and the spell deck won't have a creature to pull out. So this becomes a 2-mana removal spell. Now he's got 3 open here, which sucks. So I'm going to play the Forsaken Monument here. The Lithoform and the Deck of Many Things are one-offs. So playing the Forsaken Monument is the one I can afford to lose because it's a 4-0 in the deck. Okay. So he kept them open to cycle. Excellent. So actually the next one I want to get out is the Deck of Many Things. Let's see if he plays a creature. I still don't see a creature. So I am assuming that's a Saw It Coming. That is just my assumption. I don't want to lose the Lithoform engine, so the Deck of Many Things comes out. And let's see if he reaches for it. This is a bit like that scene from Star Wars where you're looking for him to reach for the lightsaber. There you go. Yeah, we're going to gain the 2 life. And I'm also now going to venture into the dungeon with my spare mana. So I kind of think again this is where we want to race through to get to our draw card. So we're going to play this one. I don't think we need the land. We need something else. So we're going to move through. Is he got a foreteller card? He doesn't foretell a card there. So I'm going to play the Bibliothek and go straight into the Lithoform engine. We're going to put some pressure on these counters he's got in his hand. So that's pretty awesome. So we're going to venture into the dungeon and we're going to double that up. So we're going to get our creature token. And we're then going to Dark Pool. So, in the event that something hasty comes out, we've got this open for 5. On our next turn, we're definitely looking to double up. Oh, well, here it is. Which is fine. He's got nothing foretold, so we're going to let him come. And we're going to deal with this. Now, if he has a saw it coming, he can. Okay, well, there you go. So, we are going to venture into the dungeon. We're not going to double that up because we want to double up the drawing of a card. So we select the drawing of a card and then we double that. And that will give us 2 cards. There you go. Cool. So, this is a difficult one. I think we're going to take the Radiant Fountain. Are you thinking about it? What are you thinking about, dude? And then we're going to take a dungeon map as well. And we can venture into our next dungeon straight away. And this time we're going into the Man Mage. Okay. So we can venture twice a turn now, so that's awesome. I think what we need to do is there's still no creature. So he's watching us to see what we're up to. So here's our last Snowland, so Faceless is now open. But I don't think there's any need for that. I think what we need to do is we're going to venture. Yeah, we could venture. And we could do the Scry. Yeah. A Doom Score. I don't think we need it. I haven't seen a creature yet. Do we want to go twice here? Yeah, we're going to take the token and we're going to take the Scry. Because it'll be impolite not to. Okay, so we want the token. And we want the Scry too. The Forsaken Monument, don't need that. Dungeon Map, don't need that. So, I think we are all okay. Obviously, the Divine Gambit is sorcery speed, so if he draws another Goldspan, he can play it. But we're not worried. So he's decided he's had enough of the Forsaken, which is fine. I think it's a bit late for that now. I really do. Oh, he's had enough of that one as well. Okay, so quite clearly there his intent is to slow me down rather than to stop me. So he's got 2 open. I don't think that's enough. So we could just play this again. Does he have a counter? No, he does not. Okay. Now, he has the appearance of being tapped out, but he is not tapped out, so it's important to remember that. So we're going to play one. We now have another one in hand, so we're quite relaxed. So he does not. We've got 30 life, so we don't care about 6. What we're going to do is we're going to venture. Are we going to go twice? Yes, we are going to go twice. Because that Scry 3 looks very nice. He's a bit tired of us doing our... So we're going to take the 2 skeletons. And then we're going to go the Scry 3. Okay, Divine Gambit, no. No. Cave of the Frost Giant. We're going to draw this off the top. So that means we've got two blind cards that we're going to see on our next venture into the dungeon, which will be cool. Now, what I'm surprised he doesn't have is I'm surprised he doesn't have a Prismari. I've forgotten what it's called. But basically, it destroys artifacts. But we're happy here. Okay, so we're even happier that that's an exile. It can't be brought out by the Divine Gambit. Okay. So we play our Cave of the Frost Giant. We then tap this one and tap this one for 4, and then we can venture into the dungeon. Now what we want to do is we want to play 2 cards for free. So we are going to copy this twice. Yeah. We want to play 2 cards for free. That's what we want to do. 1, 2, 3. So we're going to play that for free. And we've got another one coming. 1, 2, 3. We want to play that for free. Yeah. Okay. And then we can... He can see most of my hand. So it's a tough one. What we're going to do is actually we're going to draw this land. Gain the 2 life, draw the land. Obviously that activates the Bonder's Enclave that we could double up to draw 2 cards. So we've got good options here. Oh, so he wants to... That's cool. We draw the land anyway, so it doesn't matter. So we'll do that. Draw the land. And what we'll do is we'll just click on... Actually, no. We're going to do that again. Because the idea will actually get into like 2 lands in 1 turn because of that misplay. Because it's too good. Yeah, we'll take a second land. Okay. So we're approaching our end game here now. Yeah, cool. So we're going to exile that. Quite simply, we're just going to exile it. Anything? No. Okay, let's click that. He's got 1 more Brazen Borrower, so we have to remember that. Let's get rid of that. Let's resolve that. No, you can't play those. You have to play something from your hand. Cool. So there was a Saurit coming in the hand. Excellent. So now we're going to double this up. So we need 1 of those. Yeah. that goes. You got to play anything else from your hand? Cool. Anything else? Anything else from this hand? Nope, there's nothing from your hand. Okay. We're going to now go to this one, because we're going to put his life under some pressure. And he can't block. So we are now putting him under pressure. We've got artifacts in hand, legendary artifacts to generate things as well, so we're quite relaxed. That's not going to do it. Okay. So, you're going to play your creature. Oh, he's going to kill it. Excellent. Draw a card. Okay. So he's attacking. Let's vent. Oh, no. Sorcery speed. Must remember, venturing into the dungeon as a sorcery speed thing. So, what we want to do now is we want to increase the hand pressure. So if we play this one, no. Is it this one? Let me see, hold on. Yeah, it is. So that. And is it this one? Yeah. So we're going to generate 2 of these. Now we could also venture into the dungeon. Yep. We want to put him under a bit of life gain pressure. Don't want to discard a card. No, we're not. We can take the 2. He doesn't want to discard a card either. Okay. So this is enough to create sufficient pressure on him. So they've got vigilance, which is awesome. So they get to attack for free. Excellent. So we're going to hold this. I've got our friend here, the Frost Dragon. I've got our friend here, the Faceless Haven. I've got options, so we're relaxed. Okay. Okay. Anything else? We attacking? No attacking from him. So we can create another 3/3 and then move to my turn. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to venture into the dungeon, and that's a wrap. That is GG. So I've got to run off somewhere actually. So I'm going to end the stream, but I'm going to be back in like about 10 minutes.